Today we're going to be talking about 5 major mistakes that most people make when they're trying to go and pass the UBC exam.
So this information comes from our experience of 20 plus years teaching full-time to help all of you be successful on that exam. We want to give you the information that you need in order to avoid making these mistakes so that you can pass on your first try.
Mistake number 1, trying to rely on UBC practice questions and thinking that those questions will be your exam questions.
It's not true.
No, we have a lot of students, we have a lot of people unfortunately calling us after they fail the exams, and then they call in us to try to get some help from us. And we always ask them the same questions. How did you guys study? And they always say the same thing. We rely on those practice questions, we rely on the UBC assignments, and we went through different schools that taught us those questions, and we expect that that's what will show up on the exam.
And that's not the case. So the assignment questions and the practice questions tend to be simpler than some of the questions that you'll get on your exam. And they do a good job of testing the basics, your ability to regurgitate information, just facts and definitions. They really don't do a great job of testing your understanding, your deeper understanding of the material. And that's very important for this exam, for this course. So just relying on those assignment questions and those practice questions usually will result in people calling us and saying, hey, I failed my exam and I need a better plan. I need a better strategy in order to help me pass. Mistake number 2 is having the mindset of, I'm just going to go and see how I do. That's a phrase that we hear quite a lot. So what I like to kind of categorize it as, I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to kind of be lazy and see if I can pass without really doing much work. Not a good strategy for this exam. There are lots of topics in this course, and if you just want to try and see if you can pass on the first try without doing the work, you're probably not going to be successful.
Just remember that UBC gives you only 2 attempts, right? So you have only 2 chances to go for that exam. And what usually happens if you fail the first time, you will have to wait for 3 months before you can rewrite that exam again, before you can even book it. And then when you go for the second attempt, that's what our students tell us. They always tell us that the second attempt is always harder than the first one. So please don't do this. Don't use this strategy. I'll try it and see what happens. I also find a lot of people, when they do that way, their confidence goes down the hill.
Yeah. And so you already have exam anxiety when you walk in. With any exam that you take, you can't really escape that. But imagine now going in with having failed the first time, you're kind of carrying that extra baggage into the room with you. And we want you to avoid that. We don't want that. We want you to go and pass the first time. These exams, they're tricky. They're very, very tricky, and they do a very good job of testing your understanding of the information that's in the course. You can't just, based on the facts and definitions, it's not gonna get you past that finish line. So you need to actually understand the material. So having that I'm gonna wing it mindset is not really a good plan for this exam.
Yeah, you do have to understand the content, right? You have to know everything that we teach you, basically, or UBC teaches you, because they will be testing you on every single detail, right? And if they change the wordings in you, and if they just put one word in one sentence that does not belong in there, and if you don't understand the concepts, but you're just trying to memorize it, that's where the problem comes from.
Exactly. So make sure that you're prepared and you want to pass on your first attempt for sure.
Mistake number 3, when students trying to skim the whole course and just trying to buy the mock exam separately from everything else. And they say, look, if I can just buy your mock exam, so if I go and get some final questions from other schools, I'll be good. Now that is one of the biggest mistakes. And you already know why, because you cannot just rely on any questions on its own. Exams is tricky. Exams are very difficult lately. And you do have to know your stuff. You need to know the content.
I know a lot of people think, okay, well, if I see exam questions and I see the answers and I see rationales for those answers, that it will help me study the exam style questions and teach me all of the material from the course, right? From the information that's in the course all at the same time, and that is just not the case. It's not going to happen because there's so many topics in this course. It's not like one semester of a subject, you know, like you go take one semester of chemistry or English. Yeah. This is over 20 chapters.
We teach you everything.
There's
constructions,
yeah,
financial statements,
about
appraisals,
government, law, contracts, all about title and property law, all kinds of different stuff. So there's no way that you can kind of reverse engineer and be lazy and just use those questions to teach you everything. You have to put the work in. It's impossible now. You have to put the work in to do the studying. We have it all laid out for you, step by step. You know what you need to do every week, but you do have to put in the work.
And it's simplified. So it's like Netflix. You can just watch the videos. You can choose the instructor, which one you like. We explain it to you in the simple terms, right? Everything that you have to understand, but you can't just do the questions. You have to watch the videos. You have to do everything what we tell you to do, right? Yeah. So trust the process. And if you don't go through us, find a different way of studying, but just please don't buy just final questions from somebody. It's just not going to save your ass on the exam.
Yeah. It's, you want to pass on your first attempt, right? You want to just do the work the first time through so that you don't develop bad habits, pass that exam, and then move on with life to your next steps in building your career.
Start making money.
Exactly. Mistake number 4 is thinking that you can skip the math and rely on your knowledge of the law to help you pass the exam. This is a very bad idea, a very bad strategy. Why is that? Because the math is the best part of the course. And if you end up skipping the math, what is Murphy's Law? Murphy's Law is that you're going to be the one that gets 25 math questions on your exam because you did not prepare for it. If that's the case, you want to be able to count on those marks. So mastering the math, putting the work in is crucial. It's critical for passing that exam. Now we simplify it, we make it step by step. It's just data entry. It's like texting. So super, super easy. Not like the math that you've done in school. We make it fun. It does take work. But when you put that work in, man, does it ever feel good when you get those math questions right every single time.
Yeah, and there's a different style of teaching that math. So every time I look at the UBC explanations, I roll my eyes. They put so many steps in there. They make it so complicated. It's pretty simple. Math is the best part of the exam, as Melanie said. Yep. And that's what the students always say. Trust the process, trust the system. It works, and it's so easy. You're going to love it more than anything else. Mistake number 5. Please choose wisely who you will be choosing to help you to pass this exam.
So it doesn't matter who or what you choose to help you. The key to that and to your choice is that you choose someone who you relate to, who clicks with you, who you fit with. And you also want to choose somebody who can actually teach you the information as well, which means that they have to be up to date with the most current course information for them to be able to do that for you.
UBC updates their information on a monthly basis. There's always new changes that come up in there, and you do have to be full-time in order for you to be able to catch every single thing that they add on those exams.
Yeah, we're always working hard for you to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information.
Too hard.
Yeah, it is definitely a full-time plus job in making sure that that's the case.
Yeah, and having, for example, if you choose to go through GOBC, having different instructors explaining the same subject but in different styles also helps a lot, because we do understand that everybody has a different learning styles, so we try to accommodate those styles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you choose one of us, right, we explain the information in different ways. We have a Zoom instructors, right? So you have so many different options and good instructors to learn from.
Yes. Yeah. It's also important not to choose based on price only. Yeah. There's the old adage, you get what you pay for, and it's so true. Sometimes you go the cheap route, and it turns out to be the more expensive route in the end.
wind up with all of the students at the end, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so don't choose based on the price. It is your decision who you will be picking and who will be helping you. But like anything else in life, if you do have a mentor, if you have somebody who's helping you, you will get to the goal much faster.
Yes.